All right, good morning and welcome back. Today we are starting our new chapter talking about congruent figures. Okay, so within these congruent figures, we know that congruent polygons are going to have congruent corresponding parts. Okay, lots of C's there. But what we're saying is if we name congruent polygons, we will list those corresponding vertices in the same order. So for example, if we look here, this is called a congruence statement. It's very important for us. Triangle MLN is congruent to triangle QPR. So the M and the Q match up. The L and the P match up. The N and the R match up. So we look here, L for angle 1. It's L. L is the second one here. So we look at the second one here, which is P. That matches up with 90 degrees because of that right angle. So we know that angle 1 is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, angle 2 will be equal to 40 degrees because angle 2 is N is the third one here is R, which is also 40 degrees. So we can do the same thing on number 2. 1 is B is our second term, G is the second term, which is 95. So angle 1 is 95 degrees. Angle 2 goes with C, the third term, H is the third term, so that would be 60 degrees. Now, for our next one, AB is going to be congruent to. If we look here, AB is on the right side. You might think it was XZ. We got to go based on a congruent statement. AB is the first two. This is actually a reflection, you'll see. So AB is those first two. That will match up with XY. Okay, so because A corresponds to X, B corresponds to Y. Now ZY third second, so that goes with CB. Basically, you always match. Here they give us an angle, so we're going to give them an angle in return. Z would match up with angle C. Okay, angle BAC, second, first, third, so that'll go with angle YXZ. Angle B is the second one, so that will go with angle Y. All right, 3 pairs of congruent angles. If we look here, angle F will go with angle M. Angle E will go with angle N. And finally, angle D will be congruent to angle O. Our next one, 3 pairs of congruent sides. FE is congruent to MN. ED would be congruent to NO. And finally, we know that DF is congruent to OM. All right, now, as we continue, find the values of the variables. So ABD is congruent to CDB. If that's the case, we look at these two pictures. ABD, so that's like right here, that angle. CDB, we know those match up, which means they will be congruent or equal. So 5x equals 75, we divide by 5, x equals 15. And our next one, XYZ is congruent to FED. So Z and D match up, 30 and 2y will be equal. So y will have to equal 15. Likewise, XY here matches up with FE. So 3x and 9. We divide by 3, x equals 3. Our final one here is a little different. There's no congruent statement, but we see that these angles are the same, so that has to be 74. The middle one here, this is an example of vertical angles right here and here. They're vertical, so this will also be 5x. Vertical angles are equal. Earlier we mentioned, or maybe we haven't yet, but every triangle in the world, I don't think we've talked about this in this class, but you should know this from the past. Every triangle in the world, the 3 angles add up to 180. So in our case here, we can do 74 plus 5x plus 3x plus 2 if we add all that up, it will equal 180. Combine your like terms, so 76 plus 8x equals 180. Subtract, 8x will equal 104. Divide by 8, and x will equal 13. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about, going along with that, since every triangle adds up to 180, the third angle theorem basically tells us if A and D are the same and B and E are the same, then C and F have to be the same. That will always be the case. So here it says, determine whether the two triangles are congruent. If they are, write a congruent statement. So N is a right angle, so R, those match up. M and Q each have one arc. L and P, even though there's no markings, we know based on that third angle congruent, they have to be the same. Likewise, 9, 9, 12, 12, 15, 15. So we are good. They are the same. We can write our congruent statement. So congruent, or the triangle NLM would be congruent to, we said N matches with R because they're both right angles. So triangle R. L, we said matched with P. And M matched with Q. Now to solve for x, all we do, L was 4x minus 3, so that will match up with P, 3x plus 7, because they are both the second. So we just set them equal to each other. 4x minus 3 equals 3x plus 7. Subtract the 3x, add the 3, x equals 10. And we're just about done. We're not going to do this bottom section. But if we look here, triangle LMC is congruent to triangle BJK. Don't look based on the pictures. This is another reflection, so it can get confusing. Go based on the congruent statement. So LC, first third, matches with BK. I'm not going to do all these, but if we think about it, if it's a segment, it's a segment. If it's an angle, we put an angle. If it's a triangle, we put a triangle. So angle K, that's the third one, matches with angle C, the third one. Triangle CML, that's 3, 2, 1, so it'll go with triangle KJB. If this isn't making sense to you, please reach out. There is no assignment today, but I hope you guys have a great day, and keep working hard, and let me know if you need help.